Hey, what's up, everybody? It's GMD back at it with another episode of Liberal Podcast. And I have my special guest. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Xervean. I stream on Twitch and make content on YouTube, multi-stream there as well now. And started off as a poker content creator, and now I do politics and philosophy stuff primarily. Occasionally I'll play some games.
So, were you like a professional poker player, or did you like do like just online stuff while having your job?
So I've been playing poker since 2005, so I've kind of done it all at some point or another, so we can get into that. But yeah, like, I mean, right as of as far as like when I was making content on poker, it was like I always had a job at the same time.
Okay.
Hold on, let me mute my Discord.
Okay. Yeah, it's probably a good idea.
Yeah, people blow me up, All right. Yeah.
So, first things first.
Sure.
Take us through your poker journey. Like, what got you into it? How much you made? Like, did you play any tournaments? Did you do it full time? I know you said earlier that you had a job always while doing poker. Show us how you balance that as well, and like just take us through like who you are, like your background.
Sure. Yeah, so I mean, the way it started was like going back to 2005. Like I was very big into StarCraft Brood War, playing that competitively. That goes back to when the game first came out, like in 1998 or something. So like I was very young when it came out. 42.
You're 42, okay.
Yeah. So like all through high school, that's all I did was play StarCraft Brood War. I had like two friends, and we were all like competitive players, and so anyways, yeah. So it was through that, and then what happened was around 2003 or 2004, some of the top StarCraft players started getting into poker. So
that was like during the poker boom of the 2000s.
Yes, yeah. Chris Moneymaker won in 2002, I believe.
He won because like he just randomly entered the WSOP championship and took it all, if I'm not mistaken. I could like my poker knowledge is a little bit out there. This is when like the online poker shit went on. I was a little young for that, but
yeah, no, he what happened with him was he was an accountant, right? But he played a satellite tournament on PokerStars, multi-table satellite tournament. So what that is it's a tournament where you're not playing for like cash money, you're playing for a seat in another tournament. So basically he entered with like $50 in a huge field satellite tournament, and he ended up winning a seat to the main event of the World Series of Poker. And then he flew out to Vegas, and then he busted his bankroll that he had in the cash games, and so all he had was the seat to the main event, and he somehow ended up running like God and won the whole thing.
I mean, poker has some skill involved as well, but you can't control what cards you draw, right?
Right.
I've been getting into local tournaments in my area. I'm trying to improve my skill as well. So I know here earlier is Chris Moneymaker. He won 2003 WSOP as well, and he was the first.
Oh yeah, maybe it was 2003. I was thinking it was 2002. Maybe that was the Chris Ferguson one. I think he won 2000.
Yeah, he won.
But anyways, it was 2002 or 2003.
He won us.
Maybe it was 2003. Yeah, it's crazy. And then yeah, he luckboxed the whole thing, and so like we were asking about the skill thing. So skill is definitely a big thing in tournaments. There's a lot more short-term luck involved because everybody starts with the same amount of chips, and then the blind structure goes up, and it forces you to positions where you have to make moves, or you'll just get blinded out.
That's how tournament style poker usually is.
Yeah. Whereas the cash games, you know, you're at a fixed blind structure most of the time, anyways.
I prefer cash games.
Oh, me too. Absolutely.
Tournament style is for fucking animals. Cash games are what the civilized people play.
Yeah. And people underestimate how much variance is involved in tournaments. Like, you need a lot of buy-ins. Like, what he did was insane. Go up,
you could have good cards during the shit buy-ins, and then you have shit cards during the money-making buy-ins, right? Like the money-making blinds. I mean, not buy-ins, my apologies. Yeah, you can have shit cards during good blinds and good cards during shit blinds, and it just fucks everything up. Like, I prefer cash games. It is a more guaranteed way to make money. Do I throw my hat into tournaments? I do sometimes. But no, cash games are for civilized human beings, and tournament style is for the animals.
Yeah. Hold on one second here. Somebody's saying they can't hear your audio on mine. 1 second. Yeah, I didn't have a way to. I didn't test the.
Yeah, didn't test your audio.
I didn't test the audio for. They can hear me, but they can't hear you.
Ooh. Yeah, that probably.
You know what? I'll just end mine and grab the bot or whatever. I guess.
Well, I'm on Twitter, and
that's cool. Anyway, I'll just end mine.
All right. Well, go on my. If you're ending your stream, tell them to hop on mine.
Yeah.
My apologies to everyone watching this.
Yeah. Sorry, I was getting the URL to your stream. All right, pasted it. And okay, anyways, so where were we? We were talking about tournament variance, I think.
Tournament variance versus cash game variance in poker for.
Yeah, so for the cash games, like I told you, the tournaments, you know, the blinds go up, and it depending on the type of tournament it is, the structure can be like way better. So what I mean by that is, you know, the blinds go up much slower. You have more chips when you start out, that type of thing. And usually the main event of the World Series of Poker has pretty much the best structure in terms of skill that you can have. But even said, like, it's still way more luck involved than in a cash game. And the win rates usually reflect that. In fact, it's like really hard to even calculate your win rate in tournaments. As far as like in-person live tournaments. Online, it's a little bit better because you can play like thousands of them. You can fire up like 8, 9, 10 tournaments at once, or sometimes some people even play more than that.
Yeah, like I know, I watched a video on it, and one guy had like 32 games at one time when playing online poker.
Yep.
He made this a full-time. He folded most of his hands, but he made it a full-time profession because he was able to do it.
There's one dude that
I wish I could send the link. I can't think of it right now, but
oh yeah, no, I've seen one guy play 50 at once. Like there was an incident kind of in the old days where this guy it was on Poker Stars and his name was like Hivad Khan, and he was able to play 50 turbo sit and goes at once, single table turbo sit and goes, and like he had them like all just kind of like in the center of the screen, like all, and they would just pop up, and he would just hit the button as soon as it pops up. Because like in those, like you hardly ever have to think about what to do, because very quickly you're just all in or fold is the correct strategy after like a couple of rounds. So then it just becomes like automatic, like math or whatever. So like, yeah, but he had to make a video for the poker site to prove he wasn't a bot. Like he had like his buddy like filming him and filming the tables and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty funny. But yeah, for me, like back in like the early days, like, well, okay, anyways, I gotta skip a bit. Anyway, so like going back to the StarCraft community, everybody posts on like the Team Liquid message boards, and Recrull and Elky, they kind of posted their quote unquote poker stories, and you know, basically it was showing how they started off playing like 1 cent, 2 cent, you know, like $5 max buy-in tables on Cash Games Online, and then they ran it up and they were playing like 10-20 no limit, which is $2,000 buy-in online. And so that's really what inspired me. I'm like, holy shit! Like, and they're like, and like, so all the StarCraft guys started getting into it, and that included guys, you know, eventually like Doug Polk, who's
I know Doug Polk. Yep.
Yeah, he kind of came in the same community on the Liquid. They started a Liquid Poker forum, which was kind of like for StarCraft players, and he started on there as well. So kind of came up in that community, and like I actually what the because I had just read those accounts, right? And then I go to the gym. I was very into like bodybuilding at the time, and I'm in the gym, and then I hear people in the gym, they're talking about poker. I'm like, okay, well, like this is a sign. Like I know these guys are idiots, so
this
like,
is the poker boom. So everyone.
This is the poker boom. Everybody's talking about it.
Everybody's a toddler turning on WSOP games on those big box TVs in 2005-ish. I specifically remember that.
Oh yeah, it was huge, and so it was like May of 2005 when I first started, and I remember I went home and I Googled like how to play poker rules, and I downloaded like a PDF with like the hand rankings and stuff, and then like I logged on Party Poker, and I play like for like 10 minutes on Play Money, and I'm like, man, I could beat this shit, you know. You win a couple of hands and it shows a little firework animation.
Occasionally you just don't get hands. Like you could choose what to play your hands.
Yeah.
And you read your opponents as well. Okay, this opponent plays this on this hand. This opponent does this. He bluffs sometimes on like this. Like there's a lot of variance going on, right?
Oh yeah. Well, but at that time I was just completely delusional as to like my ability. And so like I put $50 and then you know, I lost that, and then I put like another 100 on and lost that pretty quickly.
Oh damn.
And then I was living with my parents at the time, you know, going to college and stuff, and my mom comes in, she's like, I just got a call about gambling online, because I was using my card or whatever. And then so
that connected with her account. Like
no, they called because this was before I had a cell phone. So
they called the landline.
They called to make support suspicious transactions. Yeah, it was a suspicious transactions call. So then I got in trouble, and my mom's like, she's like, I don't want you spending any more real money. So then I had to like figure out how to be smarter about how to get money online. Before I did that, I went online and I ordered a bunch of the best rated like poker books. So I got like Skolansky, Small Stakes, Limit Hold'em, and The Theory of Poker and stuff like that. And I read like all the poker books before I played another hand. And so then slowly, you know, over a couple of months, there was other ways to get money on. Like I figured out I would go through this thing called NetTeller at the time, which is like a payment processing website where you could put like a card on, and you know, it wouldn't say anything about online gaming. It would just look like something else. So I put money on, and then that's how it was. Probably I started winning, I would say it was like November of that year. And I remember I was playing, like I got up to like 10 cent, 25 cent tables. And then like I remember I started playing the single table sit and goes tournaments. And that was my first big run, I would say, was I started playing like the 25 plus 250 ones that they had, $25 plus 250, and then I was like, man, these guys are so bad because the tournament players were so much worse than the cash players even then. And then I'm like, I almost can't lose. And then like I remember I started playing the $50 plus $5 ones, and I remember there was a night where I cashed in like every single one of them that I played, and then so like I ran up to like 5K like very quickly, because you would get like you win one of those, you got like $250 or something, because it was so it was and then of course like I had money management issues. I was stupid, because I was working at a bank at the time, right? Like I'm making minimum wage. Well, I was making $7 an hour working as a teller at a bank. And then and then there was like one point where in like 2006, kind of early to mid 2006, where like, and I had kept playing the cash games. It was still my main focus. And then like I got to the point where I was playing like the $400 buy-in tables, and I was like, wait a second, I have like my paycheck on every single table, and I'm playing like 9 tables at a time. And so I quit my job to play full time. And then my mom, somehow I didn't think she would be able to find it. She literally found out the day that I quit my job somehow. And so little background on that, like my family was really religious. So she thought like gambling
or whatever.
Yes. She thought it was evil, the devil, Satan, So my dad,
Excuse me. So, like, your parents did not approve of you quitting your job.
Oh no.
So you tried to go full time with this poker shit.
Oh, I did go, but it was a little bit before I get ahead of myself. Like my mom was like, "This is satanic. This is evil. The devil's," But my dad, like, he would come in, he'd be like, he'd come in. And my dad would be like, "Are you winning?" Or he would want to know. He would want to know how much I was up or whatever. Like,
dads typically are more lenient when it comes to that kind of
stuff. Because he would watch it. That's how I found out. That's another thing. Like he'd be in there like watching a couple of hands, like on the World Poker Tour or like the Chris Moneymaker stuff. Like he'd be in there watching it for a few minutes.
Who's your poker goat? I know. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
that's cool.
I'm really curious. Who is your poker goat? Who is your greatest of all time? Is it Helmuth? Ivy?
Oh, hell no.
Brunson?
I mean, in some ways, Brunson is kind of like the quote unquote GOAT, just because he's such a legend.
He's the
like I've got his autobiography back there. It's got so many cool stories, like the old Wild West and the backroom games and people getting shot in the middle of poker hands and crazy shit, robberies, and it's amazing. Like as far as who I consider the GOAT, I mean, there's it would be like online players probably. There's a guy named no. I mean, he's a very good tournament player, but like for me, there's a guy named like Linus Love online. Like he's kind of the GOAT. There's a guy named like Sauce 1234. Who's kind of like, and there's a guy named Isaac Haxton. He's been around forever too. So it's kind of like the cash game gods that don't really have big names in live poker, but they've kind of been around forever.
They get their bread.
Yeah.
They don't know what they look like, but they get their money.
But as far as like, in terms of like people that you would know, I would have to say probably Phil Ivey is he's kind of the GOAT.
He's my guy when it comes to poker.
Yeah, I think he would have to put him.
Guys play. I really do.
You would kind of have to put him as kind of the GOAT, I think, just because like he has tremendous success in live tournaments, live cash, and online cash. Mm-hmm. So like Ivy famously, he had one point had won the most money online. He was up like 25 million. I think on online poker, just way more than anybody. And like, is he the best now online? No, but at one point he was, and it's just because like the guys online are so specialized now. And Ivy, he's still very good, but he plays so many different games because he's going around and he's playing with you know, all the billionaire guys in like China and Indonesia, Philippines, and all these different places.
He goes.
Macau,
He plays those Macau games. Yep.
Yeah, Macau and all that stuff. So he has to play all kinds of different games in terms of like different poker variants, like 7-card stud and Raz and 5-card draw, Badoogie, Badusi, all kinds of weird variants that they have.
For those who don't know, Macau is like the Vegas of the East.
Yeah.
Vegas is Little League compared to Macau because Macau is the only place in Northeast Asia that has gambling, right? And so it's the only place in China where it's legal. And so everyone from Northeast Asia goes to Macau to gamble. Macau is 6 times the size of Vegas. I'll double check that just to.
That's probably accurate. And one interesting thing about it is it's really hard to get your money there. Like you have to know people in that crowd to be able to get your money there. Even if you're a Chinese citizen, you have to know people.
No, it's
what my buddy that's Chinese was telling me that plays poker is like they make it very difficult for Chinese people to transfer their money there because the Chinese government doesn't really want people losing it there, because it's kind of like it's got some kind of a weird status that's like separate from the rest of China in some way. I'm not sure exactly what the politics are there, but you know, it's got some weird kind of status like that. But
sorry, just give me 1 second. No, Macau is basically a special. It's a different administration of China. It's sort of like Hong Kong. Macau speaks Portuguese, right? Is it versus English, which is Hong Kong? Let me just double check. I'm gonna check the Wikipedia article just to make sure I'm not getting my facts wrong. So we're gonna let me double check. Yep, Portuguese. They speak Portuguese as well. So to take a break from poker, although I would love to talk with you further about poker off camera, we're going to talk about liberalism, politics, and why you decided to join this effort with me and a bunch of other creators at LAN.
Sure. Well, yeah, I mean, kind of going back, like I've always been, like at one point I kind of thought I was like libertarian, but no. Well, like I was raised conservative, of course. Parents were big George W. Bush fans and all that kind of stuff. And
were they MAGA now?
They always had, huh?
Are they MAGA now? Are they Trumpers?
Yes. Well, my mom passed, unfortunately, but my dad is hardcore MAGA. He's even got the freaking hat.
Oh my god.
Yeah, dude. It's and like all my family is MAGA. Like aunts and uncles and cousins and my sister, which is surprising because
to them about it, or
I mean, you know, like it always comes up on Thanksgiving dinner. Like I remember it was like 2 years ago or whatever, we had a debate on Thanksgiving about Elon throwing the Nazi salute.
That was last Thanksgiving. That was
was it? Yeah. I remember we had a debate about that. Yeah, and
so,
there's always something, but no, they won't hear of it. I try not to get too
political with your family.
Yeah, you know, it's just not worth it.
Again, my family's not MAGA. I don't have. I mean, like some extended family's MAGA, but no, my parents are not Trumpers at all. I think it's safe to say my dad and my mom are both not Trumpers, so I don't have that problem. But you said earlier, before I interrupt you, my apologies. You said something about your sister being surprised that she's MAGA.
Oh yeah, because she was way more liberal than I was. She was almost like leftist and stuff. Like even like when I was in like high school and stuff, you know, she was. And I live in Oklahoma, so.
Okay, I'm in Kansas, so.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's like this is the most red state you could possibly just about imagine. But anyways, like I remember she had like gay friends in high school and stuff, you know, and stuff like
And
that.
like,
So I mean, she was always very progressive, you
what
know,
did you
voting.
switch?
Well, what
Age?
happened was she moved to San
Life experience?
Francisco. She moved to San
Or
Francisco, and she was there during the COVID stuff and the George Floyd and all the right. And she had some scary experiences where she was trying to drive, and you know, people jumped on her car and you know, stuff like that. She just freaked her out, and so she she basically, she didn't have like strong. I don't think she had like strong, like well reasoned principles. That was just kind of like the millennial thing to do, you know. Anyways,
okay,
but
yeah. I mean, people have.
that's what caused her to flip, because she when she was selling real estate, like she would drive through like Oakland and stuff, and those areas. She had some scary experiences, and so eventually anyways, that's what she moved here. And
did she become MAGA after J6?
Yeah, she didn't. I don't even think she knows what January 6th is. Like she's not like that tuned into
like that until
she probably thinks that like the Tucker Carlson thing where they let everybody in. And I mean, I've talked more to her about things, because like she was getting into the Candace Owens stuff. I'm like, no, like I'm like, I had dinner with her. I'm like, I just laid it all out. Like, I'm not gonna let. There was one day where she came in, sounded like Nick Fuentes, talking about the Jews and a
lot of people who don't know who Nick Fuentes is.
Yeah,
don't really understand his craziness and his views and his harm to political sphere, especially the Republican part, because, you know, I believe Politico said that the GOP has had issues with younger people being, you know, groypers.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting with him. We won't need to get that much into him, but if you watch like his, like if you watch like his origin story, like his like when he was on like Patrick Bet-David or whatever, that podcast with him, he kind of goes more into like his origin story, and like where he was kind of just like a libertarian style person, like free market capitalism and stuff.
He became the trad whatever overnight.
Yeah, and well, what happened was like, and this is my interpretation of what he said, was that like he was dating this girl, or he was I think he was like interested in this girl, and he was like involved in politics at his college, and she ended up like, because he started having like all these questions about, he started going down the Israel pipeline and asked all these questions about how they get all the money, and then they kind of like shut him down and stuff. And then eventually this girl like betrays him and like marries a Jewish guy with the Daily Wire. And then PDB's like, were you romantically involved? And he's like, no, but it might have been headed in that direction. So that's enough for me to make the inference
what was up with these people and being bitter at women.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what started the whole Jewish downward spiral thing.
The Jews stole his woman.
Yeah, basically I think that's the big part of it.
These people blame Jewish people for everything. These people blame Jewish people for every little thing. Anyway, we're gonna curb that conversation.
Yeah, definitely. Anyways, I shut that down. Like I was able to explain, like, you know, she doesn't have any evidence to back anything up. Like, I'll answer all your questions about all this. And so I was able to talk her out of it and explain to her that that's a bunch of nonsense. But she converted to Islam. And so now she's Muslim.
Everyone does conversions and whatever.
So yeah, I don't even know if she's still MAGA.
Muslim, by the way. My dad is a Muslim, by the way. So
I don't even know if she's still MAGA now, because Trump hates, or he's not a very big fan of Islam, you know? So I don't even know.
Yeah, here's the thing with MAGA.
Yeah.
Is that, like, obviously Donald Trump gave a voice to the hateful rednecks of the Tea Party, which Republicans previously ignored. That's why he won 2016. That's why he has his cult currently. How do you think we stop this shit? Like, we're liberals. I'm a libertarian-ish liberal.
Mm-hmm.
I think people deserve rights. There's some things I disagree with the Democrats on, but I think people deserve rights. I want normal politics where people don't kill each other again, or where Republicans don't threaten to kill Democrats again. I want sane politics. How do we get back to that? Can we get back to that? What are your thoughts?
Well, it becomes tough because there's a big epistemology crisis in terms of like how people consume and evaluate information, I think. And a lot of people don't have good reasons or foundations for the things that they believe in. And like whenever you're on, kind of like the social media rabbit trails, a lot of people, they get stuck in either like epistemic bubbles or echo chambers. And like an epistemic bubble is where you have you're just not seeing the other side because all the people that you follow are like MAGA. And then the echo chamber is where you're primed to reject any disconfirming evidence. So everything is fake news that doesn't agree with you, basically. And I think that's kind of one of the big problems, is that I think people, they don't look for stuff. They don't look for the disconfirming evidence. They just look for things that confirm their opinions. And I mean, I think this happens on both sides. As far as like what can be done, I mean, yeah, damn, it's just hard. I think we need bigger. Right? Huh? Yes, Oklahoma.
You are are you registered as a Democrat or are you an independent?
I'm registered as a Democrat.
Did you vote in the primaries?
No. Yeah, I had something going on at the time with one of my dogs that. But I'm going to go into.
There's a runoff in the Senate primary, so you should.
Yeah, like I'll be voting in the next one though, for sure.
Do you mind,
it's funny that.
Do you mind sharing who you're going to vote for?
Well, I think.
I believe, but.
Yeah, I think the. I mean, just. I don't know exactly the.
If you don't, you don't have to.
I think. No, it's fine. Like, I mean. I'm not sure exactly. Like, I don't have like the names memorized because it's not really going to be a close election. Unfortunately, it's going to be. I think a lot of the Democrats.
It will be. You got to keep trying. You got to keep.
Oh, I am. I'm going to vote. I'm going to vote.
Tell your MAGA people, hey, try to snap them out of it. I'm not sure what the best.
Yeah.
I'm doing a project on former MAGA, but I'm trying to snap people out. I want this to stop, right? The only way to stop is the Republicans lose badly. Polls say they will, but you never know until you actually vote. So. Yeah,
I mean, and to go back to your question a bit, like as far as like what we could do, I think we need more. I think we do need more creators to get bigger and teach good values and get out there doing debates and things like that. It's because like, I mean, that's another thing is it feels like most of the MAGA people are pretty aligned and there's so much infighting, on the left. But I mean, there is infighting now on the right too. It's not as aligned as it was in 2025. So that's kind of good, I guess, because now people have fractured over Epstein and fractured over the Iran war. So it's not as aligned now as it was, where everybody's just rallying behind Trump uniformly. So that's kind of good. But yeah, I mean, really what I want to say also is just that, God, I feel like the education thing is so important. But it's like, how do you teach people kind of like sound epistemology? It's not so easy to get, because it's not like an easy headline thing that most people want to click on, for a video. It's like walking them through, like, how do you like, how do you find out like what is actually true with like Israel Palestine, where you have like so much propaganda from both sides of the conflict? It's very difficult, and like all the posts are trying to like pull you in one direction, and you have to be able to step back.
It's more complicated than people are letting on.
Oh yeah.
But every single human rights organization, all of them, came to the same consensus that Israel is at least attempting a genocide. I'm sure there's like, okay, there's issues with like, okay, the October 7th massacre when Hamas massacred people in October 7th. We can talk about that and the atrocities that happened on that day. We're going to shelve the Israel-Palestine for now because I'm not trying to get this taken down.
No. We can talk about it just real briefly. I mean, with the big word with that is the term genocide, and I think that's really, people like to fight over that. It's like what's called like a thick concept and like philosophy of language, and what that means is it's a word that has both descriptive and like a normative, so like a value judgment attached to it, that it's bad, or obviously it's really bad. So people want to fight over the word, but I think if you like
Geneva Convention on Genocide,
yeah, I think if you replace
genocide is this defined specifically as killing members of the group, causing serious bodily or mental harm to members of the group, deliberately inflicting on the group conditions of life calculated to bring about its physical destruction in whole or in part, imposing measures intended to prevent births within the group, and forcibly transferring children of the group to another group. Like
forcibly transferring the children?
Yeah.
Oh.
Russia's attempting a genocide in Ukraine.
See, I would think that well, how do you differentiate between like a war and a genocide, I guess? Like I would say with Russia, like they want to
people.
I don't think Russia necessarily wants to kill everyone in Ukraine. I think they want to take over the territory.
They want to Russianize them and take over the territory.
Russianize
them.
Yes.
Including reports. This, I might get hacked by Russia for this, but fuck it. Reports of trafficking Ukrainian children across Russia. You can Google it. I certainly will.
Yeah, like I don't know. Usually when
I hear alleged, by the way, this is all alleged.
Yeah, when I hear genocide, I usually think of like they make no distinction between military and civilian targets, and they just try to kill everyone. But maybe that's not the most appropriate definition. Maybe that's more of like a colloquial. Yeah. Maybe that's more of a colloquial use. I don't know.
I'm alleging everything, Russia. This is only alleged Russia. This is only alleged Israel. This is only alleged Palestine. This is only alleged Ukraine. I don't shoot the messenger, please.
Yeah. Well, anyways, the point I was getting at, whether or not you think it's a genocide or not, like I think the way to have like a more substantive conversation is just to agree to.
I'm not next to genocide.
Instead of using the genocide, like you just talk about like the descriptive facts of the situation, and usually people, and then you have more of a substantive. I'm not a
genocide expert. I want to make that.
Oh yeah, clear. No, I got you. Neither am I. Like neither am I.
Business, tech, politics. Yeah, that's what I'm expert in.
Yeah.
You also are expert in poker, so
yeah. Yeah. Anyways, we don't have to go into that. I mean, like I would say that Israel's like gone way too far, and at this point, like it's just.
There's also been historical persecution of Israeli Arabs, ethnic minorities in Israel, and Palestinians. So.
Yeah.
That's a whole other conversation. We're gonna shelve IP for now, and we're gonna talk about We're gonna go back to the conversation.
Sure. Let's go back. Let's backtrack.
You are a liberal because your family is conservative.
Oh yeah.
I kind of have like my family's a little more complicated than that, but no, we're not Republicans. I have extended family members who are, but I'm not. Anyway, what made you a liberal? Why are you not a leftist? Why are you not a regular libertarian member of the LP? Why are you not a center-right never Trumper?
Yeah, well, like I the first election I remember paying attention to was like the 2007 one, which was the one where
Obama? It was
Obama, and like Ron Paul, like I liked Ron Paul. Like he was like I remember on that election, like whenever you watch the debates, the answer to every question was on 9/11, terrorists flew into the World Trade. That was the answer of every single question. Like they would be like, "What's your financial
what's your favorite ice cream? 9/11.
Yeah.
I like
it was literally like that.
Okay, it's just a joke, people. I'm sorry.
No,
I'll stop.
No, I have. You're good. Like I have a dark sense of humor. I remember going to see Daniel Tosh live in Vegas, and like his first joke was a 9/11 joke.
I like his show.
He's really funny, and
I snuck and listened to that shit. I was way too young to listen to that at the time. I snuck. I turned on the TV. And I turned his show on Comedy Central on. That's what I remember from him.
Yeah, he ramps it up to 10 times for his shows. It was crazy. But anyways, yeah, so anyways, I they asked Ron Paul, and he was the only one that would like answer the question. He's like, we need to audit the Federal Reserve and go back on the gold standard and make money worth something again. I'm like, oh, that's based, and so like I bought like his books, like the Ron Paul Revolution and In the Fed and all that stuff. And so I kind of was like always like pretty libertarian leaning. And so like, I just like, I voted for him. And then like whenever he dropped out of the race, I kind of just like wrote his name in to make points and stuff. And then I did the same
protest vote.
And I did the same thing in the 2012 election or 2012 election. And then, like when it gets to Donald Trump, like, and at that time in like 2015, like I was listening to a lot of Joe Rogan. I was listening to, started.
Of course you were.
Started getting into I was watching a lot of those like college debate, Ben Shapiro destroys type. I just enjoy that kind of combative debate content. And somehow I didn't find Destiny at that. I mean, I already knew of Destiny from StarCraft, but I don't think he was doing debates yet. That's why I didn't find him. But
you didn't find him because he was doing StarCraft stuff still.
Yeah. So, anyways,
I remember when StarCraft 2 dropped.
Oh yeah, 2010.
I remember specifically that drop. I moved into my new house, and that game came out. Big launch, big release for everybody.
Oh yeah, I got it at midnight. I remember showing up at GameStop at midnight to get it.
That was the good day of video games. Like people
all the hardcore people
camped out and bought games. Like I was a little young for that until like I grew up. I kind of grew into that, like my teenage years. It's like 2016, 17, 18.
Yeah.
The midnight game releases were always the best. GameStop. God, I miss those days. Now
midnight
I just buy
movies,
it online.
Yeah.
I just buy it online.
Midnight movie releases. You go up, watch a Star Wars movie, and they're all like dressed up like Yoda and shit.
Anyway, back to the topic.
Yeah. Anyway, so like I was listening to all these guys, but like I couldn't get on board with Trump. I'm like, this guy's an idiot, like I don't know. I just even though a lot of that crowd, they were all actually Ben Shapiro was originally like pretty anti never Trumper.
They hate Trump and they all went to Trump as soon as
he
won the primary. I will say though, I'm gonna take it briefly off topic here.
Sure.
But we're going to get back on topic, I promise.
Yeah, no worries.
When Donald Trump said that racist shit, saying that he called every single Mexican a rapist. Remember that happened in early 2015? I knew then and there he was going to be the next president. I was like,
really?
This guy's really going to be our next president, isn't he? And like this was we were talking about this in school, right? People got into some fights in school over Trump, like. The redneck white boys would try to harass to no avail, of course, the Mexican kids and the black kids. And they would start fights with the ethnic minority kids, and the white boys would get their ass kicked most of the time. And unfortunately, the administration took the side of the racist white kids. So It was like a third. Like my demographics in my school were anyway. Anyway, back to the topic.
Donald Trump, no, and he also had. Yeah, he also had that factor where he was pretty funny, like in terms of like his put downs, and nobody had ever seen anything like that. He really
crooked Hillary.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was all that. I mean, he was funny not because of his put downs, but his demeanor was funny.
Yeah, like I don't think he's very funny anymore.
Silly shit. Like it's not funny because he's the fucking president.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, his job is to lead the country.
Yeah,
I want a boring president, someone who knows how to do president stuff.
I used to say that like my model president would be somebody that doesn't really do anything, just
someone who does is boring,
takes away powers or something.
Someone who does the job well and is boring. That is
like if a president were to like give back what's that bill called that Bush got passed, the authorization for use of military force that they used to conduct military conflict operations in
I don't know exactly what
countries. Yeah, it's
the Patriot Act that he passed.
There's the Patriot Act, and then there was also this uniform use of military force or something like that they passed after 9/11 to give the president the freedom to attack pretty much any Middle Eastern country that housed terrorists. We'll make no distinction between terrorists and countries that harbor them. So that was now they use that to attack any country, even non-Middle East, like South America and stuff. So that's definitely been. I feel like that's run its course. Like I would love to see a president put that back, where give back some powers, but I don't think they'll ever do it. That's another concept where, and especially what Trump has done is, typically the president they'll expand the powers a little bit, and Trump is like redlining every potential power, everything he could do to get around the normal process.
The small government party is the biggest government we've ever seen in our lifetime.
Yeah. Yeah, like if you look at the list now of like all the they're just searching for like any document. Like they've gone like after the tariff authority got overturned earlier this year, where they ruled it was illegal for him to impose the tariffs on all the countries. Now they're just searching through more and more documents, like any kind of acts that mentions anything about trade. They're trying to use that to prolong the tariffs, and I think they're on like the third or fourth one now. So, and it takes a long time. It takes a while for the Supreme Court to rule on them. But anyway, so going back, like even though like I was listening to a lot of like this kind of like those guys really weren't that extreme. They were kind of just more of like quote unquote like anti-SJW at the time. And like it was also at that time, kind of what attracted me to that crowd a lot was, what they did to Star Wars. Cause like I was always a huge Star Wars fan. Like I'm wearing a Darth Vader shirt right now, but like when Disney got a hold of Star Wars and they made The Last Jedi, like I was like, okay, that's fucking war.
The three films after the sequel.
Yeah, like the Disney trilogy.
I never cared for the Disney trilogy of Star Wars.
I hate it.
Yeah. I said that first while watching it, and people thought it was fucking insane. But I stand by it. I did not like the 3 sequel Star Wars. Star Wars should have ended after the 6, maybe with some spin-offs and animated stuff and like other toys and stuff like that here and there. But the 6th trilogy was the perfect one.
Oh yeah,
I'm not like the biggest Star Wars fan, but I liked the 6 movies because that reminds me of spending time with my dad watching Star Wars. So
I remember sitting in the theater and they had Luke overdose on the Force. I was like, I was so mad, man. I remember sitting out in the parking lot afterwards and I was typing up like this long ass like TLDR Facebook message or whatever, ranting about it. Anyway, so I found all these like YouTube accounts that like hated on the movie. And so like a lot of these are like the big kind of right-wing accounts now, like Nerdrotic and Critical Drinker and all these kind of guys. Geeks and Gamers. So I was watching a lot of that, but then like when it got to like COVID and January 6th, that kind of this stuff like really broke their brains, and they kind of like all got like super political. I just kind of stopped watching that content. And I remember like getting started kind of watching Destiny stuff. Like I watched him debate Nick Rekieta, the YouTube lawyer. Do you know who that is?
I heard the name. I'm not too familiar.
Yeah, he's a pretty huge YouTube lawyer anyways. And so then I started getting recommended all of Destiny's videos, and so I just like watched like a ton of those, and I'm like, man, like I really like he was further left than me for sure, but like I just liked like his debate style and the fast talking and the aggression, and you know, like how quick he was with coming up with like the unhinged put downs and stuff. And so like that's kind of like when I started really researching things, and then I'm like, man, if I want to start making this content, like there's so much stuff I've got to learn. It's like unbelievable. I guess this was around like 2023, and I'm like, oh my god, like I've got to learn like all this like philosophy and logic, and before I can even get into the politics stuff, I'm like, oh man, this is going to take a long time. And so what I started doing really was like I would put up like 4 tables of poker, and then like I would have like a debate in like a small little YouTube screen. And so like I would watch debates and react to YouTube, and I could do commentary at the same time. So because like I used to play StarCraft, so I was good at multitasking and things like that. So yeah, that's kind of like how I'm
a liberal.
Well, yeah, but like I said, I was always kind of like libertarian leaning. But then when I actually started reading political philosophy and I got to like classical liberalism, like I was like, okay, I think that's actually what I am, because like when I read it off, like it pretty much had like all of my values, and like the libertarian is like kind of like the more extreme version of that. And usually
libertarians call for complete deregulation.
Yeah,
that is not something I support. I have libertarian-ish tendencies. I do too. I think that I'm extremely pro Second Amendment. I'm I'm against most gun control. I am against many democratic policies related to 2A and Second Amendment. I get why they have them, and there's some like underlying reasoning for it, which I get, but we need to find a way that doesn't turn to a slippery slope that gets the government in people's lives and in people's homes, telling them how much, like it could be a slippery slope to take away the Second Amendment completely. That's not something I support, but we do need to do something about crazy people buying guns in schools, people going to schools with guns. Because why the fuck is this a trend? The losers, there's like a whole other conversation to be had with school shootings and how to prevent them.
Yeah, like I know, like when I bought my gun, like you go to the store and they run a criminal background check on you. It would be cool if like they
lenient with background checks, but
it would be cool like if you got diagnosed with a mental condition, if they would put a warning up or something like that.
Yeah.
So that they wouldn't be able to get a hold of it.
If there's like red flags, like history of violent behavior in the past.
Yeah.
Not just any, because mental condition could lead to a slippery slope, meaning a lot of things.
You know what?
If you have a history of violent behavior in the past, like,
but even something like schizophrenia or something, like I don't know, like I don't know.
I'm not a fucking expert.
I'm not either.
Schizophrenia, when treated, again, I'm not an expert. We'll have to. There's like a
I just don't know.
There's a bigger debate that people don't want to fucking have. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I'd have to do way more research and come up with arguments. Like I don't know, like because like like you said, like because how do you know if a person, or maybe you could put it in stipulation if they're like, how would you know if they're staying on their medication, or like I don't even know, like maybe I don't even know, because like it's a whole can of worms, because you could say like, oh, you could put some stipulation in there where they're staying up on their medications, but then how would you know? And
how would you know if they're staying up on medication?
You could presume that they are unless like a family member calls in or something. But then you can have people that don't like you call in and say you're off your meds. So it's like, how could you? Yeah, like there's all I don't know. It's kind of it's a messy situation.
Like, we need the EPA. We need the SEC. We need regulation when it comes to like stuff. You shouldn't just dump poison in the water, in public water. You can't just, you shouldn't just do insider trading like the president's doing right now, and his family's doing right now. You shouldn't be able to do that. You shouldn't be able to put whatever the fuck in food. That's why we have the FDA, right? We have regulations for a reason. We need to fund the IRS. We shouldn't pay our taxes going to bullshit, but taxes are supposed to be spent on infrastructure here at home. But I don't want a communist utopia where everyone makes this, like everyone gets taxed so they take home the same amount, but rich people should pay more in taxes because they can afford to. That creates infrastructure, right? Funds schools, funds roads, funds other community centers and community projects, which decrease crime, by the way. If people aren't poor, they have less motive to commit crime. Crime does go down. We need to fund our schools, pay our teachers more. That way, definitely increases the applicant pool. Republicans complain about woke communist teachers. Guess what? If teachers were paid more, you would see more applicants across the entire political spectrum. And it won't just be the people who want to indoctrinate your kid into woke communism teaching the kids, right? Funding the schools does that directly.
Yeah, totally.
However, the most big government position I have is we should ban homeschooling completely.
Ban homeschooling, really?
Ban homeschooling completely, yes.
Why do you like homeschooling?
A parent, usually when it comes to homeschooling, it's some religious nut, some parent trying to indoctrinate their kids who the parents don't know much themselves, so they don't have much to teach the kids. Usually it's the kids on like a farm or a rural area being taught like stuff, right? And they have to do a lot just to get back. Sometimes, ever since the whole COVID situation, some of the kids that went home for school to online learn for the last few weeks of the 2020 school year never got back to school, right? We need to ban homeschooling completely and have rare exceptions for like Olympic athletes or certain international schooling, I guess.
Chess kids.
Diplomatic, again, like, but yeah, no, I'm a libertarian for the most part. I'm a libertarian. But I think homeschooling is like banning homeschooling is my most big government position. And funding.
I'm sympathetic to the position. It's just like just for me, just from like a first principles thing, like I don't really want the government telling me how to like raise my kids or run my life.
But we do have to protect kids from abusive situations.
Oh yeah, it's not. That's the problem. Is like you're going to find edge cases.
Be around other kids.
Yeah, you're going to find these. You're going to find edge cases that, but
the edge cases are the success ones usually when it comes to homeschooling.
That might be the case. Like my cousin was homeschooled, and he's
not only that, forcing kids into public school would incentivize funding public schools.
Yeah.
If we look at Finland's education model, which they consistently test among the top for math, science, reading, stuff like that, right? When it comes to Finland's system, they have a similar system like that I'm proposing. Private schooling, for the most part, is outlawed. I'm not even going that far, but private schooling, for the most part, is outlawed. Homeschooling is completely outlawed. Schools are supposed to work together rather than compete. It's not like it shouldn't be like a business where this school is putting this school out of business, right? But the thing is, like, that way rich kids and poor kids go to similar schools, right? Rich families fund the schools, poor families fund the schools, right? Everyone has incentive to make school good. Dropout rates are very low. Test scores are very high.
Yeah.
Crime is very low.
Yeah, it's an issue that I haven't really looked into. So I don't.
I will say,
I have like a general principle that leads me in the other direction, but like I haven't done the research on that particular issue, so
that's
I don't have like a strong argument for
yeah.
If you don't
have an issue, if you don't do research, I don't do research on. I technically try to say as little as possible or shut the fuck up.
Absolutely, the same here.
I'm not asking you to like. I'm asking to give your opinions.
No, yeah. Like I'll have to look into it.
Okay. But yeah, what are your thoughts on Medicare for all?
Yeah, I mean, I think that. Yeah, I think we should definitely have that. I think that you could move some budget things around and fill in the gaps from the quote unquote Affordable Care Act stuff. Like you could, like for instance, Trump's trying to increase the budget for the military to 1.5 trillion.
We don't need that much
from 1 trillion, and he's given 175 billion or so to ICE and the Border Patrol.
We spend more on the military than the next we're number one in military spending. We spend more than the next 13 countries combined.
And I think if you just take those two things and you just put it towards healthcare, like that would be tremendous.
Sides of the argument. Again, like if you look at the NHS in England, a lot of them are backed up. A lot of English people are going to France or Spain for some extra healthcare. England is pretty good compared to a lot of other countries, but yeah, in America, I think I get both sides of the argument. Maybe increase Medicaid, fund Medicaid more, fund it more. That way, people who are lower income have some sort of baseline insurance, whereas doctors can.
What I would suggest is that the people that are like low income or like don't have jobs and stuff would be able to apply for the healthcare assistance or whatever, and then the people that just have jobs, it just kind of stays like it is now, where they have it anyways. So you could still like pick if you have a job, like you can still pick your healthcare plan and that kind of thing. So it's really just for like the poor people to get them up to like a capability floor or whatever you want to call it, like a certain level. But it wouldn't be for like I would say it would, certain things probably wouldn't be covered, like, just kind of stupid stuff like
if you want
getting your boobs done or like stuff like that or whatever,
or like jaw chiseled for men or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, like some clavicular nose job.
Clavicular stuff.
Yeah. So, but anyways, going back to like why I kind of ruled out libertarianism, was just that like you were saying, like kind of goes like more extreme, and a lot of them tend to be more of like your anarcho-capitalist or whatever, where they don't want like a federal government, and so like you have like little communities, separate communities with like their own.
And caps are fucking silly people.
Yeah, like if you've ever listened to that guy, his name's like Eric July, Young Ripa on YouTube. Anyways, he's a big anarcho-capitalist guy, but
abolish the federal government. No government. Everyone should do what they want.
Yeah. And for some reason, nobody ever brings up the objection that I would bring up whenever they're debating this.
What government, bitch? What government's going to help you? Someone pulls up with an AR-15 trying to rob you and then shoots you. There's no government.
Well, what they say is they say that you would have competing like security contractors that in different towns. Security. Yes.
Like they do in some certain developing countries for rich people.
Yeah. It just sounds insane because and that leads into the objection that I would have about it is, what do you do with the nuclear? You're going to give a bunch of private for-profit companies the nuclear bombs and have them compete against each other? Like, that's insane. Like, that kind of breaks.
I have the ultimate objection to all that.
Oh, okay, sure.
People talk about private securities competing with money, right? Without the federal government, who prints the money? And the Federal Reserve, who prints the money? Is it just going to be a barter system? Or, like, what is the situation with that? What's the new currency?
They want to go back on. They want to go back on the gold standard or the Bitcoin standard or something. Would be
okay. Who mines the gold? How do you mine the gold? Like you just like whoever gets gold. How can people tell what's real gold, what's not? Like there's like so much involved in that.
That was actually regulation. Back in ancient times too. Like they would what they would do is they would you know, I don't know what the correct term is, but they would print out the golden coins to people, and then occasionally they would they'd have people turn in their golden coins and exchange them for other golden coins. And what they would do is they would melt them all down and dilute the gold in them and fill them up with something else. So they would take all that extra gold. So it was another way of like looting them, taxing the people without them realizing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyways, so that's
the coins because there's more coins to go around.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly. I can't remember. I kind of read a book on this, but it was like 10 years ago when I was first getting in.
Extremists don't understand what money is. Extremists don't understand how the economy works. You see the leftists, right? Oh, people just do things. You don't have to worry about getting paid. They'll just do things because they want to do things, right? Like you see some of the far left nuts say that shit like that, right?
Yeah, to Steelman, the libertarian, they think that if you have a need for something, the free market will take care of it to some degree, like because there's a profit incentive there.
Yep.
It's like if people are getting robbed, there's an incentive to pay the security company to protect you.
How do you know a security company won't rob you too?
Well, like what I just described is basically kind of like a mafia racketeering shakedown scheme.
They could rob you. They could rob you, and you can't. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, they could have their guys come out and like shake you down, or it'd be a shame if something were to happen to your business. You better pay your dues, or it would just cause so many problems. And also, just even going back to the what do you call it? My mind went blank. You know, before they had before the Federalist Papers and stuff, like they couldn't get the individual states to agree on, you know, like raising, like they had like Shays Rebellion, and like they couldn't get the states to agree to raise the money to fight it and put it down, because everybody thought it was somebody else's responsibility to raise the money for the army, and that's why they ended up. That's one of the big reasons why they ended up having the you know, the Constitution and the federal government and everything. So anyways, yeah, like, no, there's a lot of problems.
Extremists don't understand how the economy works. You look at the far right, you know, the Fuentes types, you know, those guys, even like some people in the Trump's admin, deport everybody, every immigrant who is, they want to deport all of them. What they won't realize is deporting all those immigrants will take away business from America. It'll devalue the American dollar. The remaining people in this country will be poorer because of it. Quality of living will go down. With tariffs, everyone wants to isolation. America wants to isolate itself. Plus the tariffs. Value of the dollar goes down. Things cost more. Cost of living goes down. Everyone's poor across the board. Of course, the fucking bigots, right-wing Nazi types don't fucking get that, because all they see is, oh my God, there's different looking people. Not a different kind, different looking people. They could like do the same cultural practices and everything. They see different looking people and they get super insecure about it.
I've done a decent amount of research into this area. About the tariffs and stuff. It's funny because what ended up happening was that towards the end of Trump's first term, and I think it was May of 2019, you know, he threatened tariffs on Mexico, not as what was always done previously, which was using it as a trade bargaining thing, you know, to negotiate
trade into encourage certain industries.
Yeah. Instead, he used it.
Develop here.
Yeah. He used it instead to like threaten, to put out a threat to get something completely unrelated to trade, to get them to do things.
Start trade wars with countries.
Yeah. Yeah, he had a
This is
list
a
of
businessman
demands of
president,
things
by
he
the
wanted
way.
them to do. And so, and Mexico did it. And so that showed Trump that he doesn't have to use tariffs to just negotiate trade. He can use tariffs to get whatever he wants to pressure countries. And so that's when he got reelected. That's why it was like such a huge part of his overall strategy. But then going back to the immigration thing, yeah, like I've looked into this, and I believe it was between like the illegal immigrants are generating between like 92 and 96 billion dollars a year based on 2022 data in tax revenue.
They take nothing out of it.
Yeah, and they get nothing.
Yeah.
And one of the objections, of course, from guys like Asmongold is that we have to pay for all of their health care and stuff, but it's actually like a very tiny percent.
Very small percent. If you have an emergency, you go to a hospital. If you're an illegal immigrant, they find a way to help you pay for the care. A lot of them pay themselves too as well, but they find to make it a way. Ronald Reagan signed that into law. I'm not sure what the law's called. I could be.
Yeah.
If someone wants to let me know. But the thing is,
so
with the illegal immigration, I can solve this completely.
Mm.
I can solve this completely. If people really want illegal immigration gone, all you have to do is criminalize hiring illegal immigrants and watch as it stops completely. But they won't do that. Because who's going to pick the strawberries? Who's going to go in the hot Texas sun in the middle of August and pick all the produce?
Yeah.
Who's going to go into factories and make steel spoons or I don't know.
Yeah. No, people are like, they're stealing our jobs. You don't want those jobs anyways, dude. Like, come on. But like, it's, my solution or whatever that seems reasonable to me is you just kind of like lock down the border, stop allowing them to wait in the United States when they request asylum. Like they have to wait in their own country before being granted in like a in-between zone or whatever, while they do all the checks on them and things like that. And then you just, you don't spend all this extra money going door to door searching for them. You just, if you run across them, then, you can flag them for deportation or whatever. If they've been here for, I think it's like over 10 years or something, then they can stay. They can be granted.
You have to make it easier to legally immigrate here. To be here legally, either by temporary or immigrate. We have to make it easier for people to do that. Most people are illegal immigrants because of the broken visa system in our country. Because when you apply for a visa,
it takes forever. Yeah,
it takes fucking forever, right? All right. Anyway, Asmongold. Speaking of Mr. Gold,
I've got a video transcript I'm going to record about him. I'm very well up on his whole thing.
Yeah, well, here's the reason I banned from Twitch.
Yeah. Are you going to play it?
Oh, my apologies. I'm going to play it. I thought I had it on the screen. I'm going to replay it. The sound is kind of quiet, too, so I'm going to turn this up a little bit. Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
Always, this is emotional blackmail, right? Where you can't shoot these people. They have kids with them. Well, then don't bring your kids. If you don't want to get shot, then don't bring your fucking kids. It's really simple. You mean you'd shoot adults and deport the kids, right? Well, I'd shoot whoever. Yeah, I'd shoot whoever. I mean, if it's kids, women, men, anybody, just shoot them. They're going to stop coming over. Because if you don't do that, they'll use children and women as shields to get themselves over. And then they'll put more women and children at risk because they know that they can use them as collateral so they can get more of themselves over. That's the way it works. That's the way an animal thinks, and these people are animals.
This is just straight up Nazi shit. Like, this is just straight up fucking psychopathic shit, right? even if like this is like beyond just wanting to control the border, he is fantasizing about shooting children. This guy is a psychopath. A very roachy, stinky psychopath.
Yeah, I've noticed, like, I used to watch a lot of his content in like 2022, 2023, and back then he was more of like kind of like your quote unquote like enlightened centrist type. Like, and as hard as that is to believe, he was a very anti-SJW, enlightened centrist, like Lex Friedman type, you know, anti-war, anti-big government, that kind of thing. He's always kind of had like socialist type leaning, or like as far as like free healthcare, free education, that kind of thing. But ever since like his parents, like his mom died, and then like after his dad died, I've noticed like he has gone crazy.
He's just fucking.
I know. I think he's all well. He's always had like hints of sociopathy. I guess you would say, like, because like I mean I remember he would go on these crazy rants where he would just rage about being expected to pay tips to waitresses and things like that. But now it's like way worse. Anyways, so yeah, he frames the whole event like it's an invasion, and then he tries to.
Again, I already have the solution to his problem that he was bitching about. But
okay, yeah,
I already had that. They could criminalize hiring of the illegal immigrants, and yeah, you're not going to see any come over, or very few.
Well, in his video, he tries to frame it as a quote-unquote trolley problem. He claims it as an invasion, but he also calls it a trolley problem. Which are you familiar with those in ethics or? So it's like it's a moral hypothetical where you're in like a mine shaft and a trolley cart, is headed towards
one person or 17 people, for example.
Yeah, exactly, pretty much. And so he's saying you've got two options: you shoot the children, or you let all the people invade. But really, it's a false dichotomy fallacy where he's giving you two options, but there's actually more than that. And the third option, of course, is what actually happened with Spain: is they sent in their military and they rounded up everybody and they sent him back over the border, and they returned within I believe 48 hours, they returned like 70,000 of the people back over. There's only a few thousand people that are still in the country. So, and that's all without, shooting any of the children as a deterrent. Now, one thing I've noticed with Asmongold is he likes to give you, he's so popular because he gives these like, quote unquote, like one line, easy solutions that people in his audience are like, okay, that would work. Which, yeah, if you start just opening fire on a crowd, people aren't going to come over. But he just doesn't. My
solution is a better solution for stopping illegal immigration than his.
Oh, there's way better. That's the problem.
All shit aside,
he doesn't even consider those.
My solution is better. My solution is better because think about it. In this hypothetical where there's people who gun down people who are trying to cross the border, right?
Mm-hmm.
The illegal immigrants could just like dig tunnels or swim around or take a flight to Canada and go through that border.
Yeah.
Or like a bunch of other shit, right?
And there's also things that he's not. Go ahead.
You criminalize hiring illegal immigrants. There won't be any incentive to cross the border. Period. So people won't try.
True. Yeah, that makes sense too. But yeah, like he doesn't even consider the alternative solutions. He doesn't even try to like look deeper into it. Like in his video, in his follow-up video, he gives this example of, somebody runs in and he compares it to like the Battle of Troy, like the movie with Brad Pitt or whatever, where the guy gets like stabbed in the neck because he saw a video of what looked to be
like the world's.
Yeah, he compares it to zombies. He compares it to zombies in World War Z as well. He does do that. but he says it looks like a Moroccan stabbing a Spanish person, and it turns out, and I actually fact checked it, it actually turned out to be the only stabbing that was recorded was 2 Moroccans. So it was a Moroccan stabbing another Moroccan. So he doesn't do research on these topics. He just
nobody on the right does any actual research. They find things that fit their propaganda narrative and they push it. Elon Musk spearheads this, by the way.
Elon Musk supported Asmongold. He tweeted out in support of him, saying, "Why didn't you ban Hassan?" What
are your thoughts on Hassan Piker?
Oh, I don't like him.
As liberals, I don't like him either. I think he is a fucking cancerous tumor to the Democratic Party. With that being said, I do think that he's going to probably get some sort of witch hunt against him by this administration.
Yeah, what happened? I didn't follow up on the
Cuba stuff.
Well, they had subpoenaed him or whatever.
Yeah, I think
I didn't follow up on it.
I do think it's mostly. He said he was there to deliver aid. Whether that's true or not, I'm not entirely sure if that's the entire case, but he did deliver aid. That was for certain. But I don't think there's anything there other than a political witch hunt. I think the Hassan Piker people are more likely to go MAGA versus join liberals. And I think the MAGA people are more likely to go to the far left Hassan Piker than join the liberals. Have you heard of horseshoe theory?
No.
I will go ahead and pull it up. Horseshoe theory. I'll pull it up on Google.
They do both agree on the Israel stuff, though. That's for sure.
The MAGA people don't. No, MAGA doesn't agree on Israel.
Some of
the Fuentes
types.
People.
Yeah.
But for entirely different reasons.
Yes, right. Yeah. Completely different.
Horseshoe theory asserts that advocates of the far left and the far right, rather than being opposite and opposing ends of a linear continuum of the political spectrum, closely resemble each other. You see the horseshoe, right? Far left and far right are closer than the far right and center and the far left and center. Sorry, I should do that instead.
Yeah, I saw some crazy tweets back during the George Floyd stuff, like where there were tweets of like professors, like leftist professors, like basically advocating for like some type of segregation type of thing. I'm like, oh man, that's crazy. It was almost the exact same position of like Fuentes wanting his own like white community or whatever.
Sorry. I should probably switch to the Wikipedia article. Just give me a second. My apologies to the person viewing, but I will go ahead and do horseshoe theory. There we go. For the people who want to know, I thought I had this pulled up. I did not. That was my mistake. Yeah, as you can see, the far left and the far right are closer together than the far right and center and the far left and center.
Yeah, that makes sense. And they're both populists.
Mm-hmm. So they have something in common.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense.
I'm going to remove that.
And then also with Asmongold, with the children thing, one thing he didn't look into was that most of the children, the overwhelming majority of the children, I think it was like something like 70-80% of them, they were unaccompanied by adults. So they were just like runaway children.
Walking by themselves.
Yeah. And so there wasn't an intent to use them as human shields, which is kind of like a presupposition that Asmongold's argument has in it, that they're intentionally using them as human shields, which is not the case. There's no actual evidence of it. And anyways, I've got like a whole video of some pretty good arguments planned. I haven't put it out yet because it's got to be like perfect, because the Roach Army will come after me for sure.
The Roach Army. Oh,
my first video ever was on Asmongold, and that got me like pretty good boost on the algorithm, because it was about him, and he had this crazy idea about Trump using tariffs to like is like a weapon against the elites for the average working
retarded.
person.
That's
I'm
retarded.
like, this is
These theories are retarded.
the
Objectively retarded.
dumbest. This is the dumbest thing.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm like,
it's fucking stupid.
Trump loves rich people and the people that are giving money. And
the tariffs empower the rich. The tariffs give the elites more money.
Yeah.
He makes money through insider trading. Bezos makes money on tariffs. So does so that they can charge more people more for product. The Bezos, the Musk, the Teal. I'm gonna get banned for this, or probably, but yeah, the big people get money off the tariffs. The consumer pays the tariff. If you would take economics class, you would fucking know that. I made masters in business with an emphasis on world economics, and that is specifically what terrorists fucking do.
Yeah.
I'm
I did the research on that.
I try to explain to people. It's like talking to actually no, it's not like talking to a brick wall, because a brick wall is fucking smarter than a MAGA supporter when it comes to fucking tariffs.
Yeah, I did the research on that, and during the first year, they were paying when they first started. The consumer was paying 96%, and they negotiated some things with some other countries. And they got it down where the consumer is paying 84% still. So that's where it is right now. So it's very bad. Yeah. It's like, Trump tries to say that they can get the other country to pay, but
that's not going to happen. We're going to build the wall and make Mexico pay for it.
The reason why we didn't see gigantic leaps in prices during the first year was because a lot of the countries, they knew it was coming. So they like front loaded all of their stuff that they were buying real fast.
A lot of them either switched to different
that they did that too, switched to other countries, and they bought like tons of supply. Yeah,
they re-tariffed and caused trade wars with us because again,
that too.
People don't understand how tariffs work. We have an anti-intellectual problem in this country, right? It's cool to be stupid, right? If you see every American movie, the nerds were the ugly kids. The smarter kids were the nerds. They're the ugly kids in movies. This is the movies, by the way. The kids who did chess rather than football. By the way, I did both, by the way, in high school. I did chess and football. You either did one or the other. If you were strong and good looking, you weren't smart. If you were smart, you weren't strong and good looking. That forces people to basically think of being smart as lame as hell or not cool, which is kind of why we're in the position we're in as a country.
Yeah, I mean, even going back to when I was in
or German entertainment, that's not typically a widespread phenomenon. Nerds versus jocks, like the corny high school. Anyway, sorry, I interrupted you.
Yeah, no, going back to my school days, like I remember in elementary school, like, it was pretty cool to be smart, But then there was something weird that happened when you got to like junior high, where all of a sudden being smart was a very bad thing. And so like, even if you were smart, like you kind of had to pretend to be dumb to like kind of fit in. And I think that carries through, and it got even worse in high school.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's still the case now, but
kids try to, I know, teacher. Like, but teacher, like you sit like you're crisscross applesauce on the carpet. The elementary school teacher asked a problem, and kids raise their hands and answering, I know, teacher, that is the answer, or this is the answer. You get to junior high, people don't raise their hands no more, like in like excited and like most of the class doesn't do that. One person raises their hand. This is the answer. Of course, when one person does it, and a lot of times they're teased for it. Like if the same motherfucker's raising their hand with the answer and getting it right, you get teased for it, and there's a stigma behind it. And when you're in high school too, my high school was there's people from all over, right? It was a fairly diverse school. We had different people from different backgrounds, and smart people of all colors and dumb people of all colors. Typically speaking, the kids who fought were the kids who had the least to lose. like I had friends who were caught up in, like they didn't go to school often or they fought a lot in school when they weren't in school. People who were in gangs, people who didn't pay attention. A lot of it's environmental. Like, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. Like, if you have parents, if you have no money, you need to join a gang to survive, right?
Sure.
I was not rich growing up, but my mom did not play about academics. She made sure that I got my school shit done. And in middle school, when I was cussing out, when I was trying to skip school to get snacks, she beat my ass for it. In high school, of course, I got too big, but she found other ways to make sure I, went to school. Sure. I went to college and I graduated, shit like that.
Yeah, like I was lucky. I went to school at a pretty nice town, without any real crime or anything. Small town, little crime.
I think there was small towns also have sometimes there's some issues with the small towns too.
Oh, it could be
the big city thing. Some smaller towns have like I'm not speaking from experience here, but like some of them have like meth problem. Like there's like a few kids that are doing people still even poor small towns had crime and had delinquency and shitty test scores, shitty schools, stuff like that.
Yeah, I think we had some guys that smoked weed and drank, but that's
not a big deal. No, like
but that's like all that I don't know. Like I was a nerd. Like I already told you, like when I was in school, like I was,
you were like a chess team.
Like basically, I was playing StarCraft. Yeah, I got into chess later, but I was sitting there like writing down my build orders. Like, oh, look at this Protoss on the 8th probe. You build a pylon, and then you get your gateway.
You had friends that play StarCraft, and you were with those kids.
Yeah, and we would just sit there and we'd talk about it and talk about all the games we played the night before and different.
I was not a nerd. I wasn't like Mr. Popular, but I wasn't a nerd by any means. I was on the chess team. I played football. I knew kids who were in gangs. I knew kids who were honor roll students. I knew a guy who wasn't a gang, but also was an honor roll student. So, again, like you had people from all different backgrounds where I was from. I was fortunate enough to grow up around all different kinds of people. So,
yeah, like I was really into bodybuilding at the time too. Like I started off like I would say like my sophomore year in high school. Like I wrestled at like 115 pounds, and then by my senior year I was like 185 pounds. So like I put on like 70 pounds of I got super obsessed with bodybuilding, and that was like a huge focus. So I was like bodybuilding and StarCraft. Yeah.
So again, I'm a liberal because for closing, we're about that time of closing.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah. For again, why I'm a liberal, I'm going to tell you why I'm a liberal. First of all, then you're going to tell me why you're a liberal. I'm a liberal because people are people. We have more similarities and differences as human beings. Some people don't want you to know that because it takes away from their money, right? The people who peddle the hate propaganda are the ones trying to take your fucking money. No matter what color you are, no matter what gender you are, no matter who you love, what God you worship, what how you dress, what you're into. More people are alike than different. We have more similarities and differences. And I think that people deserve rights. Every human being deserves dignity, to live, to love, for the rights, life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. I think you should have the right. That's why I'm a liberal.
Absolutely, yeah. So, yeah, for me, like I like the idea of, non-domination. So like the idea that you need to have checks on power so that someone can't like impose their will on you. I believe in like the non-aggression principle, where the government shouldn't put restrictions on your freedom unless you're harming somebody else or infringing on their liberty. I'm like big on the freedom of expression, so free speech, freedom of religion, all the gender stuff or whatever. I'm very pro all of that. Like I don't want people like being like the moral police on me, telling me that like I can't play online poker or because it's sin and that type of thing.
We have to talk poker sometime too, as well. So.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, anytime.
We're definitely talking further. Anyway,
I've got so many stories.
I want to learn
stories
as well as poker, but yeah.
Vegas, I go into Vegas and all kinds of crazy characters I've met and stuff like that. But yeah. Anyways, yeah. So those are kind of like the big things, and then so a lot of it is very liberty based, but then also, like we discussed with like the healthcare stuff, I think you should have like a capability floor where we're kind of enabling people that are disadvantaged to have an equal opportunity, not necessarily in like the form of like a universal basic income or anything like that, but more just in terms of like social benefits, like kind of like what you were discussing earlier, those types of things. Because like if you just give them a bunch of money every month, they're just going to spend it on like GameStop, gambling stocks and stuff like that, like they did before, which obviously like I'm pro gambling, but like if you want people to be using this stuff for what you're giving it to them for, right? So like
people, instead of
more targeted
instead of
benefits,
buying methamphetamines, the person from
Exactly.
rural Idaho, instead of buying meth, you should buy food. But you also need to make healthy food accessible to places with food deserts, right? Because like you go in like more lower socioeconomic neighborhood, you see Dollar Generals and Family Dollars and Dollar Trees, right?
Yep.
You don't see much Whole Foods or Trader Joe's or farmers markets. We have to find a way to make people talk about Maha, right, with Kennedy.
Yeah.
Talk about Maha. You can't buy junk food on food stamps. I don't think you should buy junk food on food stamps, but you need to give these people options for healthy food who otherwise can't afford it, because healthy food is a lot more expensive than unhealthy food. And Jim Bob from the trailer park is more likely to spend his food stamps on zebra cakes rather than a cantaloupe, because zebra cakes last longer and feed more people than just one tiny measly cantaloupe, right? The zebra cake can last longer. That way, if it's wintertime, right, fruit expires pretty fast. Bullshit foods don't. So
right. Yeah, that makes sense.
More walkable cities, healthier food. I agree with the processed foods. They need to try to curb that a little bit. That's one thing I like from Crazy Kennedy and his crew, right?
Yeah. Make them buy like chicken and beef and
good quality chicken and beef.
Yeah. Or vegetables and fruits and that kind of thing. Yeah, that makes sense. And yeah, I mean, I'm kind of along with, since you mentioned it, like I'm kind of along with the libertarian guys with the decriminalizing drug stuff. I don't know how you feel about that, but
Yep. I mean, marijuana needs to be legal recreationally in all 50 states.
Yeah.
It needs to be descheduled completely, or Schedule 5, right? You don't want like a 4-year-old smoking weed, but you want it should be treated like alcohol, right? Because
totally.
I work in the cannabis industry.
Oh, okay.
And it's very strict on what you can do as far as tax-wise. The 280E is killing business. It's killing capitalism. You can Google that for my friends at home. Google 280E in cannabis. But it kills a lot of business. The motherfuckers are pro-cat. Like, Trump rescheduled this medicinal marijuana to 3. But we need to have marijuana recreational completely rescheduled to 3 as well. That way, businesses don't have to take as big of tax burdens. You right-wingers want to talk about cutting taxes? How about you cut that fucking tax? I support cutting that tax.
Yeah.
That's a tax we need to cut. Anyway.
Yeah, totally.
I do believe in decriminalizing mere possession of drugs as well. A lot of other substances as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just...
We tried the war on drugs. Drugs won.
Yeah, that was a huge waste of money.
All right. Is there anything else you want to do before we we end it today? Go ahead and shout yourself out.
I am Xervean on Twitch and YouTube. And
all right.
I guess that's it.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Xervean. We will talk further about poker as soon as within the next coming weeks. I want to talk to you further about poker. Like I've had more conversation. Not necessarily for YouTube, but anyway, hope you and your dog have a wonderful day.
All right. Sounds good. Have a good one.
All right. You too.